Cozy DH Stitchery.
Cozy DH Stitchery. They have agreed to give us a small talk about their stitching and their process. So let them take it away.
Hi everybody, my name is DH. My pronouns are they, them. I am here with my wife Toot, her pronouns are she, they, and we are the Cozy DH Stitchery. I have notes because I'm a little bit nervous. So, like many of you, I learned how to stitch in the late 1900s and kept up on and off, but really got back into the hobby around 2022. I dipped in and out, and it's been really interesting to see how stitching has changed in that time, in terms of what patterns are available and what styles are popular and that kind of thing. So, a little bit about me. I was a PSW during COVID, so I was doing home care for seniors, like house, and then I caught COVID and became disabled pretty much overnight. So that was in 2022, and my wife Toot has had fibromyalgia her entire life, so we are both disabled. And her disability progressed to the point where she couldn't crochet anymore. Crochet was her main hobby, and her hands just couldn't do it anymore. So she was like, well, I know how to cross stitch, let me pick up a kit and see if this is something I'm really interested in. And it was. So she started doing that, and I was like, ooh, I really like that thing that you're doing. So I started doing it too. And then we were looking for patterns. And we were looking specifically for patterns from our favorite television shows and games. And it was hard to find them, especially for this one game that we really enjoyed called Five Nights at Freddy's. There were no Five Nights at Freddy's patterns available. So I designed my own. So that was how we got started, was doing the pop culture things. I started with Five Nights at Freddy's. There were some other video games. Valorant, for example, was the very first of my minis, which became kind of a signature design for us. So that's where we started. My very first, actually, let me go grab it. I forgot to grab it before. My very first original design was suggested by Toot. She does most of the brainstorming, honestly. And it's this one, Prop Pots are just electric children, which is super cute. And actually, we brought some and they all sold out, so thank you for that. But they are available on our website. But this was the very first original pattern that I posted. And then, so that was 2003, 2023, 2024. Wow, okay. And we gradually moved away from doing the pop culture patterns into more of our original designs. And actually, just about a month ago, we made the decision to stop carrying our pop culture patterns. I'm sure many of you are aware that creators who do things, especially by Disney or Warner Brothers, they can get takedown notices from those companies, and it can really seriously affect their livelihood. So we made the decision that even though it was how we started, it was our bread and butter, we shifted entirely to our original designs, and it's been a great decision for us, as a business. It's freeing to not have to worry about that. So a big turning point for us in 2024 was I joined a group of designers online. Names that you may recognize: Flying Frog Stitching, Stitch Crypt, Stitching Kittens, Spooky Stitchin'. We actually have a secret little designers club where we talk. But joining them was a huge turning point for me because they were really encouraging us to not just treat this as a hobby or a side gig, but as a business. They encouraged us to start our Patreon in November of 2024, which has grown to just about 300 members, which is incredible. If you're interested in joining the Patreon as a free member, you'll get free patterns occasionally and also newsletters. So we do Patreon patterns two a month. But yeah, that was kind of the turning point. I started treating it like a job. We hold business hours. We set it aside from our personal lives. I was also encouraged to vend at Needlework Marketplace, which is coming up this summer. So if you guys do follow us on socials, you'll start seeing some exclusive sneak peeks They're going to be taking some exclusive patterns to Needlework Marketplace. Very excited about that. And yeah, I started cold emailing shops to carry our patterns. I walked into Kimat and said, "Hi, I'm a designer, sell my stuff." And they did. So that was cool. We are also available at a coffee shop in Oshawa, which is where we live. So we're local. We're just over in Oshawa. We also sell our kits over at a coffee shop, if you're familiar with Coffin Creek, right on the border of Cordis and Oshawa. But yeah, if you're ever looking for our kits, they're there. But so I kind of do the rough designs. Toot gives me the ideas. I do the rough designs, shoot them back to her for not quality control, but she has a great creative eye for color and composition and things like that. So she'll do another look at it, and then we will move it into the stitching. She does most of the stitching for me, which is fantastic. It's great having a test stitcher in-house, especially one who will throw something at you and then go, "Why is this symbol unreadable? You use two really similar symbols for white and black. Stop it." So you might notice if you pick up one of our patterns, the symbol for black is usually an X, and the symbol for white is an O. That is very deliberate. But we do like to keep the sticker in mind when we're designing stuff. Like I usually make sure that it's going to fit in, a 5x7 frame or 4x6 frame or something like that. I like to make sure that there's not a ton of duplicate colors, that it's going to be enjoyable to stitch. And we also really pride ourselves on offering customization in our patterns. Even the Pride patterns that we have available now, it encourages you to use your own colors, make your own additions, that kind of thing. A lot of them come with one chart and then 8 different colorways, so you can choose which colorway you like using the same chart. We also have done mystery styles in the past, which included a lot of customization. So you can create your own little world that was completely unique from anyone else. But basically our focus is on the weird and wonderful things that we like. If you've seen our stuff, it's cryptids and urban legends and folklore and horror movies, and I really like traditions with a twist. So I like doing something that's a traditional sampler motif but make it neon, or a traditional sampler motif but make it gay. So you can see I have our current Patreon pattern on display, which is a Quaker-inspired pattern that one of my community members calls the Queerker, and I love it. So she does that a lot where she combines words, and she just popped up in the conversation and went, "Queerker." We're like, yes, this is the name for it. Because both Toot and I are very blessed that we have quite an active community online. We both stream on Twitch, which is a platform mostly for video games, but I use it for cross-stitch and co-working. So if you're ever interested in what goes into running a cross-stitch business, you can join me Mondays and Thursdays, and I literally just stream myself working. So you can see me designing, you can see me putting together kits, you can see me staring at the screen while I try and figure out social media posts, things like that. And we're very, very lucky that we just launched our site. I've been telling some of you guys to go to the site. It has been able to shop online for 2 days. So you guys, we haven't announced it anywhere. You guys are the very first to know. So yeah, you can check out our site online, grab one of our business cards. We offer freebies. We have lots of patterns, and you can see pictures of our cats. So that's good. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. We started with pop culture, moved into the original designs, and now we're really making a push to make this a thing, like a big mainline thing for us. Okay. Yeah.